we're gonna go deep into Alexander Koklov, AKA Guilty Killer on Instagram, and we're gonna start right now. So recently in our subreddit, we were contacted and asked, hey, what are your thoughts on Guilty Killer? What do you think about his movements? What do you think about what he does? I had no idea who Guilty Killer was. I tend to follow a small niche of, you know, strength and conditioning people, maybe some philosophers here and there, and maybe some music groups or whatever, but I don't really pay attention to a lot of the fitness influencers, so I wanted to check out who this dude was. And so as I'm looking into it, I actually figure out, okay, he's big, he's about 6'4", he looks like a pretty big dude. He used to play American football. I believe he used to play American football in some of the football leagues around Russia. And I also think he's done skate cross, snowboarding, and now he's typically posting pictures of him being a surfer when he's not doing his crazy stunts in the strength realm. So when I'm watching someone like this, what I want to do is I want to look through a couple different lenses. I want to look at, okay, what are the goals of these movements, right? What are the actual goals? Is the individual just trying to have fun? Is the individual trying to get this to transfer over to a various sport or a single sport that they might be participating in? Are they trying to get views on social media? So what those goals are is sort of how I look through these crazy exercises. Then I want to think about, okay, what do I actually see? What am I watching? What am I seeing? And is there any transfer to other sports that I would be training people in, and would I even use these exercises? So I want to go into this right away because some of these exercises are absolutely crazy. Right now we see Alexander, the Guilty Killer, he's balancing on a balance board while doing a bottoms up kettlebell press with a kettlebell on top. And this movement specifically is just absolutely absurd, right? It takes a ton of shoulder stability. It takes a ton of balance on the roller there to be able to handle that. And then to think about that, okay, so he's got really good unilateral strength in his shoulder. He's got really good shoulder stability, and we're going to see a couple more movements that are going to demonstrate this even further, is that he is a physical specimen. Now we're getting to a little bit more unique movements. He loves training in his slides. He loves training in those sandals. Here it looks like he's doing jumping jacks into a really heavy jump lunge. Now, I love jump lunges. I don't know if I would have an athlete do jump lunges with 70 kilos and then 90 kilos, 90 kilo jump lunges in slides. And then I looked at when I saw this video, this movement reminded me of like a weighted ostrich exercise. So he's doing like this single leg ostrich kickback into a good morning. Again, in his slides, a lot of stability that's needed for this, a lot of coordination that he has to have to change those legs. There's a lot of stress on the lower back. How that's gonna transfer over to surfing or to snowboarding, do you have to do these movements right away is sort of my thought process. Is like, all right, was he using this for football? Probably not. Maybe the jump lunges weighted. So is he using this for surfing? Is he using this for just simple acrobats? Maybe that's what he's doing. And so we start to see even more this crazy drop lunge or drop single leg squat and slides where he drives back up into like a reverse step up. But what's weird on this movement is that he's actually hiccuping pretty bad here. He's sort of like, especially when he does his left leg, there's no like pattern. And I think that's what I'm looking for, is like, what's the pattern from side to side? What's the pattern of the movement from rep to rep? And that's my first complaint outside of these movements just being absolutely absurd, is that there's no real smooth consistency from rep to rep. They're sort of just like random put together exercises. Now, I'm not saying he's not strong. I'm not saying that these movements aren't impressive, but some of them are definitely dangerous from a joint perspective. You know, the ostrich kickback, I looked at as pretty stressful on the lower back. Maybe you could do it here and there for fun. I don't know. I wouldn't do it. The jump lunges with 90 kilos, I would not have anyone do, but he's handling it. He's thin and he's jacked, right? And so one of the crazy things he does here is he does, you know, he's got 3 tires on each side, and it's hard to say how much these tires would weigh. those end tires are smaller. This is really, really, really challenging. A Turkish get up. Looks like he's holding an axle. Gets up, holds that. And during this period in his training, or this footage, that video footage, he has like 3 other videos where he must have been in a junkyard and just finding an axle and putting tires on it. And that stuff's crazy, but I still think, you know, that's challenging. It's a really hard movement. I'm starting to think, all right, maybe he is just in this for the views. Maybe he's working through that lens of, I want to get views. I want people to be attracted to my channel, to my Instagram account, so that I can put on crazy acrobatic competitions or crazy lecture series or something and charge people. I think he had 1,000 rubles that he was charging to come see him speak. And he goes right into this movement here where it's a 60 kilo one-arm snatch. Okay, sits down in the hole. So if we sits in the hole, right, gets to his knees, does a knee tuck jump. Let's watch this here. Knee tuck jump, holding that stable, super, super deep, and stands up. And this is where I feel like his shoulder had to have been hurting there a little bit. I don't know. Does that little bar slam. But again, is that a movement that I would recommend people doing? Maybe if they're hurt, they could do one-arm snatches or one-arm dumbbell snatches, but I don't see the need to do the knee tuck jump to the feet and then stand it up, because that puts a lot of stress on that shoulder. And he's always doing that right side. I did want to point that out. He's always holding on that right side. So I wonder what's up with that left, other than it might not be his dominant side. Here's where this is just absolutely stupid. Okay, when I first saw this video, I thought this was a joke, and I remember Juji doing something similar to this, like as a joke. Just banded all over the place. And so I think these guys, I don't understand, like, what is going on here? Why are we doing that? The banded rollout, full band, I don't get it. Now this movement here, 100K power clean into a Zercher catch is absurd. Into a pistol squat eccentric, transferred over with hip mobility here to a skater squat from a Zercher position. Now, that takes an absolute ton of strength, okay? Ton of strength, ton of coordination. You've got to be explosive. You've got to be able to handle all that stress and all that force. Then you're doing that eccentric pistol squat. But it's stupid. Okay, so now we're getting into the single leg. This is almost like a ninja drill and ninja ladder, but ninja athletes don't do stuff like this either. Like I've seen them training their skills similar to this, but they don't do an ab rollout like this. And then finally, this is the most, I would say, impressive movement that he's done. An absolutely insane movement is that he's in a back squat position, jumps up on the kettlebell. So this is tremendous balance. Does a snatch press, okay? So snatch presses, stands up with that snatch press, then does an overhead squat while he's still standing on these kettlebells, and then jumps down, stands up, and slams the bar. So what do I see there? I see an absolute ton of coordination, a ton of balance, a ton of shoulder stability. The balance and the proprioception that he has to have to hold that position on the kettlebells is absolutely insane. But remember, what are we looking at this for? Is this going to improve his surfing? Maybe, but I don't think so. Do you have to do this to be a good skateboarder, to be a good surfer, to be a good snowboarder? I don't think so. Not at all. Is he an impressive athlete? Like, is he a freak athlete? 100%. These are really, really complicated movements, blowing the world away, getting tons and tons of views. And I think that's what he's sort of looking for, is he's looking for more attention on social media. He's looking for more, people to recognize who he is, so that he can potentially have, some type of sponsorship with Monster, get more views so he can get people to come to a seminar or anything like that. So I think he's doing a good job as a business person. He's getting noticed, and he's doing complete freakish stuntman style tricks. But would I use any of these movements in training? Absolutely not. But take this, as straight up entertainment. And that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm looking at this as straight up entertainment, and it is absolutely insane. So go check out @GuiltyKilla on Instagram. I don't recommend doing any of his exercises, but enjoy yourself. Take in all of his crazy content, take it with a grain of salt, and check out some of those movements that he does with Turkish get-ups. Those are the movements I would say I'd be sort of close to using, but I still probably wouldn't use with that axle and a giant tire, although they are all completely impressive. Now, if you want more content, you want more reactions, click on this card right here. Until next time, guys, peace.